What is up, everybody? Ethan back today with an album review. And what I've got today is Jethro Tull. This is their 10th album, Songs from the Wood. Love that album cover there. Ian Anderson, this lead singer, in front of a campfire with his dog and some fowl. Hunting trip or whatever. Yeah, this, like I said, is their 10th album, Songs from the Wood. I got this for $8 a few months ago. Just a great album. The band is Ian Anderson, who's on the front, the main songwriter, kind of the band leader, on vocals, flute, acoustic guitar, mandolin, and whistles. Martin Barr on electric guitar and lute. John Evans on piano, organ, and synthesizers. Barry Moore Barlow on drums, marimba, glockenspiel, bells, nakers, and tabor. John Glasscock on bass guitar. David Palmer on piano, synthesizers, and portative organ. All songs produced and written by Ian Anderson. Although I was reading on Wikipedia, this album, for the first time in the band's career since the first album, does include more songwriting contributions from Martin Barr, the guitarist, and Dee Palmer, the organ and piano player. And this album was recorded in late 1976, and it was released on February the 11th, 1977. So this is their 77 album, their 10th album. I believe Jethro Tull, if I'm not mistaken, released an album every year from 1968 to 1979. So they were very prolific during this time. I love that back cover as well. You got the kind of tree stump as a turntable record player. Just very cool cover there. Look at got lyrics on here. I love it when they have lyrics. Got a black vinyl. This was released on the Chrysalis label and produced by Ian Anderson. So, yeah, like I mentioned, released in early 77, recorded in the fall of 1976. This, their 10th album. Let's get into the track listing. The title track kicks it off, Songs from the Wood. What a great song. Whimsical, folky, English folklore influence all throughout that song. And this album as a whole is all the albums kind of before this, starting with Benefit, This Was, and Stand Up. Mainly a prog rock band, right? From England. This band hailing from the UK, if I didn't mention. This album is the first kind of starting some folky influences in the band. And Songs from the Wood title track is very folky, very English sounding, for lack of a better term. Great title track. And then the next song is called Jack in the Green. A really good song, kind of bubbly and flowy and whimsical. Very English sounding again. Again, that folkiness is there. And this is not a real heavy album. It's heavy in spots, and we'll get to that here in a second, but this is more of a folk prog rock album. But I will say, I am generally more of a hard rock and heavy metal guy. But prog rock is something that I've gotten into here recently. And this is not heavy. There's not a lot of guitars. It's not a real rocking album, but the songs are interesting enough to keep my interest. A lot of cool instrumentation. You know, you got mandolin, organ, flute, pipe organ. What did I say? You know, cymbals, whistles, lute, glockenspiel, marimba, mellotron, all kind of crazy instruments on here, mostly played by Ian Anderson and Dee Palmer and the drummer, Barry Moore Barlow. Yeah. So, yeah, the next song called Cup of Wonder. Not the best song on the album, not my favorite, but a really good song nonetheless. The next song, what a great song called Hunting Girl, track 4. Heavier. This is a heavier rocking song. There's a real kind of big riff that kind of carries the song. That's a heavy prog rock song right there. Kind of reminds me of Minstrel in the Gallery and some of the stuff on Aqualung prior. But yeah, Hunting Girl, just a great kind of just fun, bubbly song with a great riff in it. Really fun, clever lyrics too, kind of cheeky, very English again. This band is very, very English sounding. You know, I've never been to England, but these lyrics feel very, and you know, reading on Wikipedia about this album, Ian Anderson, the songwriter, the main songwriter, was reading a book about English folklore at the time they wrote this album. So he was very much, and he admits very much that he was influenced by that English folklore, kind of medieval history of England, went into the writing of this album. Yeah, Hunting Girl, great song. One of the best songs on the album, in my opinion. Ring Out Solstice Bells finishes off side 1, and they released that to be a Christmas single. So it's a Christmas song in the UK. I never heard it before, I never heard it here, but apparently in the UK, that is a Christmas song. Ring Out Solstice Bells. Fun song. Not my favorite, but a good song. Over on side 2, we got some good stuff on side 2. Some lengthy prog epics. Velvet Green. Great song. Great song. Heavier song. Again, about the woods, English folklore, you know, medieval stuff, you know. Hanging out in the woods in England, it's very much kind of the vibe you get with this. Prog rock, you know, flute all over. Ian Anderson, what a flute player. I mentioned in a recent review of Kansas, you know, their violin was crucial to their sound, if you will. And the same thing with this band, Jethro Tull, the flute, very crucial to their sound. And not many bands at the time, if any, had a flute player, you know, in a hard rock, prog rock band. But they are very, 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 very well known for having that flute in their song, and that is per the musical genius of their band leader, Ian Anderson there. The next song, The Whistler, another great song. Kind of a moody, melancholy, somber song. Really like that. It's got a nice kind of almost creepy vibe to it. Great little prog rock song there. And then you got Piroche Cap in Hand, or Pibroche Cap in Hand. Cap in Hand is in parentheses. Pibroche Cap in Hand. However you say that. I'm not sure what that means, but what a great song. A lengthy 8.5-minute prog epic with some heavier guitar riffs in there. Martin Barre really shines on that track. Check it out. Track 8, Pibroche Cap in Hand. And then we finish it off with Fire at Midnight. Kind of ends the album on a lighter note, kind of more uplifting, if you will. Not a bad song, but for me, the best songs on this album, and they are some of Jethro Tull's best songs, in my opinion. And even Ian Anderson, the main songwriter and the vocalist, had stated that this is in his top 5 Jethro Tull albums that he's ever made, right? And I would have to agree with Mr. Anderson. There's those 70s albums, all of them are fantastic. I have Up Along and Benefit and Heavy Horses, the one after this one. But my favorite are probably Aqualung, this one, Benefit, and Minstrel in the Gallery. What is that, 4? And then the 5th would probably be, probably Heavy Horses. Some of those that are War Child and some of those other ones, and Thick as a Brick. Not quite as much my thing, but those are great. But this one, probably a top. This and Aqualung are probably my 2 favorite. And then throw Minstrel in the Gallery in there. This one, Aqualung, Minstrel in the Gallery, I'm going to say today are my top 3 Jethro Tull albums. Couldn't pick. Of the 3, Aqualung is probably their masterpiece, objectively. But yeah, this one, phenomenal. Yeah, my favorite tracks, getting sidetracked. Songs from the Wood, title track. Hunting Girl, great song. Velvet Green, really cool, lengthy, dark, kind of menacing prog rock song. The Whistler, and Pib Roche Cap in Hand. So 5 out of the 9 tracks on the album to me are pretty much Jethro Tull drop dead classics. That's why for me, I love this album. Is it a real heavy hard rock or heavy metal album, which is kind of more my forte? No. But the songs here are interesting. They're complex. There's a lot of changes in them. The vocals are interesting. They're quirky. They're weird. Very English. Again, this is prog rock, something I've been getting into here recently. Haven't been historically into it as much, but here in the last year or so, I've really been getting into these guys, along with bands like Kansas and whatnot. So for me, it gets a 4 out of 5. 90 out of 100. Is it a perfect album? Probably not. Is it one of the best Jethro Tull albums of the 70s? In my opinion, yes. So for me, it's going to get a 4 out of 5 stars. One of their best. Check it out. Jethro Tull, Songs from the Wood. Thank you for watching this album review.